I'm going to use this comment to respond to the plethora of comments from people who said that we are not going to war in the Middle East with the US, us being Canada. This person says, and I'm going to put it on the screen so I can read it. So they say, with Carney, you really have to listen. He's very careful with his word choice. Supporting the US and preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon means we support the idea that Iran shouldn't have one. He didn't agree that this is the way. And I hear what you're saying. We should definitely listen to what Carney is saying. And we should also have some historical knowledge about how the Canadian military works and how we are embedded with the US military, because we have Canadian forces currently in Qatar. We have Canadian forces that are embedded with US CENTCOM. The CBC story reminds us, a retired general says, hey, we have 18 people there. And unless somebody specifically said Canadians cannot be involved in this, we were involved. As many as 18 Canadian military personnel are attached to the Operation Foundation, working at both the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain and at the Combined Aerospace Operations Center in Qatar. Unless the Canadian government said, no, you cannot be directly engaged in this conflict, then typically when we attach officers to another military and they go to war and the Prime Minister endorses the attack, then it's quite likely that we have been actively engaged in the targeting process. We have members in 3 branches of the US military, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force attached to CENTCOM, and we specifically have staff offices inside what's known as the Combined Aerospace Operations Center, so they are going to be directly involved in targeting. There's a very good possibility that that children's school that was hit, all those little girls were murdered by a Canadian military person. Let's move over to AI. Are Canadian military forces embedded with the US military? Yes, Canadian Armed Forces military are deeply embedded with the US military at various levels, with roughly 66 to hundreds of members, including high ranking officers. Including high ranking officers. We're part of the decision making chain. Leadership positions. Canadian officers sometimes hold high ranking command level positions within the US unit, such as Brigadier General, serving as Deputy Commander for General Operations in the US 11th Airborne Division. So that would be planes. Planes that are dropping bombs in Gaza could be commanded by a Canadian citizen. As soon as Carney said that he supports what the US is doing in Iran, that 100% told us that Canadian citizens, Canadian military, we are involved. We are deeply embedded with the US military. We are involved. Canada is currently at war, regardless of what the CBC articles tell you. Have a great day.